Go ahead, April, and imagine that you're talking to current Spanish students at the U of I, and give them just some of your wisdom from what you've been through and what you've seen since you've graduated too.
Okay. My main advice is go hard or go home. Like if you're in the classes, like really engage in it, spend time outside of class, like really getting to know the language. And if you're not willing to do that, drop it. Like don't take a seat for someone who's like really interested in the language. One way that I grew again was with, like from this class, like spending time in the community, like not just in the classroom, engaging with people, forming relationships. I still see a lot of those people in town, a lot of people that I worked with like in the community at Salt and Light and all of that. So like take the time to like form relationships and engage and just like go outside, go above and beyond. Also, in terms of media, anything that you're engaging in English, you can probably do it in Spanish. In terms of movies, books, music, you can find music in Spanish in any genre, like be it Christian music, rock, pop, like slow stuff, anything that you like, you can find the equivalent. So spend some time on like Wikipedia and start looking up artists and listen to more Spanish music. I think my Spanish definitely grew from using it outside of the classroom, from watching novelas, like as silly as that sounds. You can find some pretty good ones. I watched this one that reminded me of Gossip Girls. Like just spend some time going deeper in that. Talking to people that you know speak Spanish. Again, be polite with that. Just a lot of them can make the assumption that, oh, this person looks Latino, like they're probably not going to speak English. Like they seem like they're speaking English, like ask them, but definitely be polite about it. But yeah, don't be afraid to use your Spanish. And obviously like travel, go abroad, spend some time. My Spanish didn't really grow until I spent the semester in Ecuador, and I had no choice but to speak Spanish or fail my classes. So just put yourself in there. It's going to be really hard, really awkward, but you're going to grow from it, and you're going to come back and have so much more empathy for international students here who are learning the language, and you can just like continue growing in that way with them. So yeah, I mean, I said at the beginning, but go hard or go home. Either like fully invest in it or drop it.
April, you mentioned your study abroad in Ecuador, and earlier you were telling me about how you went during your sophomore year. Talk to students a little bit about the timing and the place that you go to. How can they make sure that they have the best experience?
It was the hardest semester of my life. I didn't know what I was doing, to be honest. I had barely taken Spanish 141 and decided to do the program in Ecuador where you take all of your classes in Spanish with Ecuadorian students. I didn't also get the memo that you're not supposed to study abroad. I mean, you are, but I took all major classes, like all 300-400 level as a sophomore in Spanish. Again, barely out of 100 level classes, and I did very well in my classes, but how do you get the most out of your experience? Good question. One, I had a really amazing host family. My host mom was my best friend in that country. We did everything together. I was like, Guadalupe, like, let's go, or like, come with me, I'm scared. And she was just like so great. We were like this. So just like spend a lot of time with the people. I know some countries it's harder to make friends than others. I know Ecuadorians at the university, because we went to a school that's very, and if you guys have been, you'll know, like this very upper middle class or rich, kind of snooty. They all went to their private schools, and some of them were really cool, like no offense, but it was hard to make friends with them. But yeah, spend time with your family. I know a lot of people would get involved in like dance classes and stuff, so they made friends through that, or like drumming classes. In terms of the timing, it was very important for me to go sophomore year. One, because I was getting kind of sick of UI, but two, I figured like if I really did enjoy it, that gives me 2 more years to just kind of grow with it. And it was so good because like I came back from study abroad at the end of my sophomore year, and I'm like, I love the Latino community, I want to grow in this, and I had 2 more years to invest in that. So I went to Honduras the following 2 summers, like doing mission work, and I spent a lot more time like taking these classes and spending time with people and really growing my Spanish versus going your junior, senior year. You realize you really love being in Latin America and doing stuff in Spanish, and it's like, oh, and now I'm going to graduate, so it's too late to really grow in that. So I would say if you can, study abroad as early as possible, and if it's too late or if you've already done it, encourage other people. If you know other people coming in as freshmen, get them to start thinking about study abroad now, because I knew coming into U of I that I was going to study abroad, and I started filling out my application second semester freshman year. Like I was so sure. So I recommend people go earlier than later, and plus if you go earlier and you like it, you can go again and keep studying abroad and keep traveling. So yeah, do it early and you'll fall in love with it.
Gracias, April.